Get elite real-world performance for your desktop PC with 10th Gen Intel Core processors. If you're looking to game, create, live stream, or stay productive, 10th Gen Intel Core processors deliver an optimal balance of frequency, cores, and threads to handle real-world usages. Get enthusiast-level performance with an Intel Core i9 processor, up to 5.3 GHz clock speed for peak gaming performance and content creation workloads. Or for competitive gameplay and content creation, choose an Intel Core i7 with up to 5.1 GHz clock speed to handle your demanding applications. The Intel Core i5 processor with up to 4.8 GHz gives you a seamless AAA gaming and entertainment experience. And with up to 4.6 GHz clock speed, the Intel Core i3 is a great fit for everyday tasks and productivity. If you're looking to push your system even further, get additional performance headroom with unlocked 10th Gen Intel Core processors, supported by Intel's advanced overclocking controls. Bring elite, real-world performance to your desktop PC with 10th Gen Intel Core processors.
Welcome, everyone, to another week of the XPWL. It's myself, Killer Wasps, and this week we have a very special guest in Ticked Off from Fallen Angels.
Hello.
Alska can't join us today. Something about Norway calls. Couldn't get his head around it, so he's taken the week off.
I'm excited. I've got someone else subbing in, so if you're watching this Silex game, you won't see me, because obviously I'm over here, but I'm excited nonetheless. I'm sure Fallen Angels and Silex will both do perfectly fine without me, and I'm excited to see what the score is afterwards.
It'll be a good one. But
yeah, indeed.
That's not one of the streamed ones. Today we have coming up Wrens and Grumpy Grapes. And then after that we'll be back with Wrens and I'm trying to get it up now. Wrens and Viking Army. That's the one.
There you go.
There we go. My brain just lagged there for a second. We're back. The ping spikes come down.
So this is what was the map again? Oh, here it's coming up.
The map ban for Wrens and Grumpy Grapes. We are going to be going to Clubhouse.
I mean, as Blue Panda and Cthulhu already said, I mean, it's been done to death strat-wise, and it'll be interesting to see, especially with like Wrens being such a very, very mechanically gifted and aggressive team, whether or not this will turn into something where they can just rely on default strategies and use their gun skill to win fights, or whether Grumpy Grapes, a team that's like risen and really shown their mettle over and over again, will be able to just use that like renowned strats and turn this around. Really, anyone could take it.
My favorite thing about Clubhouse, though, is that every season something changes in the meta of that map. There's yes, it's been done to death, but every season it changes just ever so slightly enough. Someone comes up with a new trick, someone comes up with a new place to put something, the bans change, something happens to that map and it just stays fresh.
Well, as we saw with the Skyfire game, the Monty really shook things up. I'm interested to see if either of these teams will bring a Monty, and if so, how the other team will obviously counter it.
And if either of the team is confident bringing that Monty, we've got a game. We have got a game. So we're going to get into that game, start the game up. All the players are in the lobby. Wrens, Grumpy Grapes, on Clubhouse. Round 1, fight.
I already see the from Wrens, so it looks like they're telling even more of their infamous or famous dad jokes.
Saw some of them last week on stream.
What's your favorite?
It was what do you call a lagging ying?
What do you call a lagging ying?
Ping.
That's awful. Oh, we got a little bit of a target ban on Sporky, someone who has been reliantly using Zero, who otherwise hasn't seen a lot of play, not at least not in WL. So it'll be interesting to see what exactly Sporky's done, because she has been extremely reliant on it. But with someone of her mechanical skill, I'm sure she'll be able to adapt.
Just switch over something else and it'll be fine.
Okay.
Cade ban coming out. So that's the walls are going to now rely on the mutes and the bandits.
Well, walls to speak of, because if you've noticed, there's no Maverick ban, so this is interesting.
But Cade has been taken out.
Indeed.
So mutes and bandits for the walls.
What do you think you'll see? Do you think you'll see some good old... I was going to say good old-fashioned bandit tricking, but sorry, the Maverick is on the play, so...
Yeah, and
not.
Maverick is being brought as well. I'm wondering if we'll see a 6-pick off the Amaru there.
I'm hoping not. I'm interested to see a round 1 Amaru pick, but...
No, there we go.
Getting yeah.
bit more of a standard pick there. Would have been exciting, would have been fun, but alas, not this time.
I'm just surprised that there is no Flores. Maybe we'll see him later on. We saw a few teams bringing him early on. Obviously, clears evidence, mode of utility. But here we see them, Grumpy Grapes, opting for the more traditional Ashen Zofia, where all the utility that they hopefully need.
And it's not CCTV Cash first up. It's going to basement first. Which may have been what threw the Amaru strat out the window. You don't see the sight, but that gut feeling sometimes comes in and just goes, what if they play down?
10 seconds left.
What if they just don't? What if they do something unexpected? That's what they'd be expecting us to do.
Obviously, they're still sitting up. That's so far no one's in blue. Maybe Burnabear. Okay, Burnabear is... Oh, no? Are they leaving blue? We'll see if they hold generator that aggressively, or if they just...
We've got the rotate there. Got the rotate there for someone to hold it. Grumpy coming in and pushing into garage, taking control of that very, very effectively and very early. Not sure if they know which site it is. They are clearing out.
Might just get the angry. Oh,
Sporky does manage to take out Yoshi on the Ash.
She had the drone on red stairs, but they just didn't go deep enough. They didn't go into CC. They droned out Cash, but unluckily they just missed the Legion completely, and that's the loss of the Ash with no utility or health lost on Ren's team. So already a very, very nice start on their part.
It was a very early pick there, and the drone work is going to need to just be that little bit tighter now, trying to clear out some of these upstairs roamers, as there is 2 of them upstairs with them. That's the Legion gone from Toki, just holding that angle through the garage window.
I am interested to see if they've spot out Kotari, but no! Kotari refrags onto Toki! They focused too much and they missed her completely.
Kotari taken out now by Cass, getting that refrag and getting that trade back down to that 3-3 player mark now. With 1 minute, 20 seconds coming up. Not much pressure has been put on the site. That's the roam clear done. Vertical pressure now coming out from Cass on that Zofia. The breaching charges, opening up that corridor to try and shut down some of the rotates that Renz will be trying to make. Watching through these holes, seeing if they can catch any of the players off guard just a little bit. Got some impacts on the board still, on the Wamai. C4 probably from the mute. But the mute, speaking of, shuts down Cheese. Meeps shutting down Cheese there. Looking up through that kitchen hatch now, seeing if she can catch another one off guard. Sees them, doesn't take the shot until later. Now still holding that angle. Players have rotated down the main stairs. Call hasn't quite come out for her yet.
10 seconds left.
Still waiting and watching, and that's that. All right, we have slight technical difficulties with Ticked having frozen. So I think it's just me at the moment, guys. Just me. All right. Second round. We are going to CCTV cash as the defenders won that first round. Burner Bear flashing the alibi there. But
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
opting to 6-pick away from it. Bringing a lot of the grenade denial in the Jaeger and the Wamai. Both of them coming out, probably to stop the Mavericks. Frag grenades. Once my brain catches up to the words I'm trying to say.
Jammer initiated. Stay clear of ADS line of fire.
The observer may have frozen as well. No. Okay, we're still in.
10 seconds to go.
Still watching.
5 seconds to go.
Setting up a shield on
Attackers must
the
locate
rafters.
and defuse a bomb.
Garage catwalk. Looks like. From Portari there. Trying to give Burner Bear that extra little bit of protection.
Activate jammer.
Device ready. Gravity. Got a friend info.
Maverick. Knowing on that AC wall.
Attackers have located a bomb.
One on that suicide window.
Loading new
Looking
magazine.
to try and get control of the site. Portari being picked early from, I don't know where that was from. But now leaving Sporky to have to try and rotate back onto site. Burner Bear gets the trade onto Cheese, and that's the Maverick down. No more tricking to happen there. Hockey now taking that place. With Nova rotating around. Cass trying to hold that angle onto the player playing in con. Angry taking out Yoshi on that red stairs push. Just holding that angle. It's now 3v4. With 1 minute 30 to go. The wall is now open. Which makes a lot of line of sight and cuts the site basically in half from that spot. Cast, finding that vigil. Good flank drone usage there. Toki just eyeing those corners, seeing if she can find a player. Cass falling off the red stairs just as Angry pushes that. Cass grabbing Burner Bear on the way through garage. That's the rafters cleared.
Ready to push them out.
Angry now holding that red stairs, sees the yellow laser of the Nomad. Knowing they've lost that rafters control, Cass pushes in, nabs Angry Wolf, sitting on top of that red stairs. Meeps then trades out
Attackers
Cass
activating diffuser.
and takes that position back on the top of red stairs. Diffuser is planted. And a 2v1 post plant for Meeps to try and clutch out this round. Both the attackers are on that breach wall. Good line of sight over the diffuser. One on the rappel. Nova gets her, and that's the end of round 2. They're going to try and reattempt that site now, Renz. 1-1. We'll see if something changes. The Mozzie's coming out. That's one change, I think, that's being made. Switching the Mozzie out from the Vigil. And the attackers not making any changes in their lineup. Not needing to. It worked perfectly last round.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Pit deployed. And stop worrying about grenades.
En's making good time, setting up their site, moving that shield away from the rafters hole and putting it in that location. Try and hold that breach just a little bit better if it does get open.
Martin, we'll watch over us. Target's ready. Camera deployed.
Ten
Wall
seconds
being
remaining.
reinforced. Quite important to do that one, as that
5
can
seconds
create
left
a
before insertion.
very strong line of sight onto the player playing
Attackers
rafters
must locate
as they
and
try and
defuse
rotate
bomb.
back onto the main site proper. Otari looking like she's going for a spawn peek out at garage side.
He is active in this sector. Martin going up. Camera activated. Defense is online.
She's gonna pick off Cass as she rounds this corner. Yes, she is. With no health lost as well. That's Cass down and on droning duty. There we go. Whew. I'm glad. I'm glad. But it's not a game of competitive siege without some technical error.
Indeed. We can see the Maverick is going for it, but unfortunately, Jaeger can't find the pick onto Maverick, sort of risking life and limb just trying to get that wall
bomb
open.
has been
Loses a
Does
bit of
manage to
health.
tag him a lot. That's 25 or 23 health or something that the Maverick's now left to deal with. Gonna have to be very careful trying to get the rest of that wall open.
Oh, and
And
Jaeger
that's-
takes the pick.
That's it. That final shot popped into his torso or leg or arm or anywhere really, would just has ended him.
This is interesting, and we see I was just about to say, we see Yoshi sort of going for like this flank and roam clear, but I mean, on your own, especially with the Ash, without any drone, it wasn't going to end well, and Kotari capitalizes on that lack of information, as she's done the first round, because I didn't see last round, and Renz is now in a 5v2, a 5v1.
This could be a flawless round from Renz if Novawick can find the player on. Just see the player there. Maybe not flawless, but it looks like Novawick taking some fire. Moving down, run out on by Kotari. Flawless round
There we go.
for Renz. And a 3-piece there for Kotari. One with the early spawn peak. One with the flank at the end there, and one with the run out.
Oh, there's a little bit of lag as always. Yeah, I mean, what is interesting is we are seeing these teams again, bringing very, very similar lineups, though, as you mentioned, even though you do have a lot of differentiation in Clubhouse, I mean, you still have sort of the tried and true method of you want to bring maybe when you want to bring the multiple hard breaches. So we've got the Hibana and the Maverick, Nomad from Gnome Clear. Like the operator lineup doesn't change that much, but it'll be interesting to see if later on this round, if Grumpy Grapes realizes, hey, this isn't really working, let's change it up, and let's see if they can actually capitalize on that.
Bring a Flores, bring a Capital,
Yeah.
bring
I want to see anyone else.
bring something else and force the defenders to make some other changes to try and counter a different attacking push. Because the defenders are really the ones that need to react to how the attackers are pushing. And yes, it's the attackers that need to take the ground away from the defenders, but the way that they do it is up to
5
them.
seconds to go.
Precisely, and obviously, we have the benefit of seeing everyone outlined in blue, but if Grumpy can get the information, I mean, as much as they are a very, very cohesive team, conceptually what this roam is it's very disjointed. I mean, not these two roamers that we have aren't really able to get the refrag off immediately. We have the anchors all, even themselves, even the supports, playing extremely aggressively. And while this is something that has worked for Renz in the past and continues to work out, if Grumpy Grapes can sort of figure out how disjointed sort of Ren's like format is and go for those 2v1s and those 3v1 fights, they could really come out on top. But unfortunately that doesn't happen. Kotari already securing a kill, the position of Sporky already unknown, and Ash on incredibly low HP. They really do not need to be taking these 1v1 fights, because this is where Renz excels. If they can put Renz in these unfavorable fights, it's just not going to be something that Renz will be able to come away with. Unfortunately, this is not something that they're doing yet. I'll be interested to see if they can secure that.
Drone coming out, and probably the call saying that it was clear, with Sporky just shooting through the punch holes there in Cash out to that garage window, looking like the Grumpy Grapes are falling off that garage push and noping out of there, deciding to take a different way in. Taking in through stock, and then straight back out and looking at kitchen.
I mean, you've got in 1.5 minutes before they've worked any work on site, the Zofia, the Ash is gone. They've lost their entries. They have lost a vast amount of utility clear. I mean, they've got the flashbangs, and sure, I think, yeah, and Maverick is out, but I mean, fundamentally, they're not going to be able to burn a lot of actual physical utility. That being said, looking at Renz's lineup, that doesn't seem like too much of an issue. I mean, you've got the Jaegers and the Wamais who will of course be burnt by the flashbangs. We don't see many shields, something that has become a staple, but it does not remain present at all, actually, in the space.
Yoshi sending it down dirt now, giving away her position by opening that door, pulling out that frag and seeing if there's anyone in behind that AK's catcher. The first one's caught by an ADS, second one's caught by a magnet. They're not having a good time with that dirt push, so nope it once again out of there. This kitchen hatch push is looking a lot more promising until Nova gets lit up and nopes it back out into the freezer. Honestly, Yoshi sending it again down that main stairs, nearly finding the player of Meeps on the one eye. Meeps just managing to re-peek that, going for that second one there. Nova pushing in to site, not knowing. Refrag does not come out. It's a second flawless round in a row for Renz there.
I mean, we've seen a player like Meeps incredibly aggressive, and against certain teams that has been punished time and time again. But with that positioning, with that lack of intel, with the lack of time, sort of everything turned Meeps side up, and she secures that. Was that another flawless round? Correct me if I'm wrong, for Renz?
It was a second flawless round in a row for Renz there. And we will now go to Gym Bedroom because of that. For round number 5. The castle being brought here, that's a staple for this site. To bring that castle, usually to protect the utility that you have guarding the jacuzzi wall, but with the other players there is no utility to protect. So I wonder if the castle, other than just bringing him for the secondary shotgun, would have been better to bring the Frost. Just with the other operators that you've got in that lineup.
I mean, even if they aren't using that to protect a lot of utility, I mean, Castle's still a pretty solid pick over here. Of course, you've got, well, I was going to say wall to protect the wall denial, but no, sorry, no, you are correct. There's absolutely no wall denial, so
10 seconds
maybe it is just to assist the roamers, but I mean, definitely, we are seeing some very interesting setups from Renz. I mean, essentially you have a roster of
attackers drop the diffuser.
And this is a bit of an exaggeration, but you have a roster of 5 entry fraggers, or 5 roamers, and they're sort of really trying to show off their mechanical prowess, and this is what this setup revolves around, right? Is just trying to put everyone in these 1v1s, because like, you just can't win like in these straight gunfights, Ren's are remaining incredibly dominant, and Grumpy Grapes just isn't taking the time to be able to just capitalize on this disjointed position, and Ren's will continue punishing them for as long as they keep doing that.
Down goes Burnabear. Speaking of punishing, I think the castle being punished for being too aggressive as a castle. Burnabear taking those shots, but is immediately traded out. Sporky taking a second one now in Novawick, and that's both the hard breachers gone. Or no, one hard breacher, Maverick's still up. The soft breacher is gone.
He will get the wall. He will get the wall. So
the wall is open. C4 comes out, finding nobody that's nearby. Angles being made onto that doorway. Sees the prone player, Cass, taking out Meep. The prone shouldn't have happened that time. Maybe riding high off last round, where it worked and the 3-piece was secured this time. Just evened it up now. Not having the intel on the Valkyrie that's just standing around the corner. Angry Wolf, but does get traded out. And this is what you were saying earlier. The trades coming out, and it looks like Rens just fall apart as soon as there's trades to be had.
Well, exactly. I mean, when they had the round advantage, number advantage, Ren sort of, maybe they got a little bit of cocky, maybe a little of ego peeking, and they've given Grumpy Grapes an inch, but Grumpy Grapes isn't sated with that. They're looking to take a mile. They want to close this out. They have the info on the Wamai. If they can find Sporky, they might be able to sort of wrap this up. They've got the 2v2s, and they're very disjointed. They can put this into 2v1s. But unfortunately, there's so many angles here, and they're low on time and utility. This heavily favors the defenders, but it could go either way depending on how they play this.
40 seconds. They do have time. They've got one drone between the two of them, and any pre-place that may be out there. Two of the players are watching, Nova and Cheese. Well, Cheese was watching. Nova was watching as well. There goes Toki. There goes Cass. Kotari picking up that 2 right at the end, lining up for her. Coming through that breach. The choke point, sealing that round for Rens.
I mean, as much as we can all criticize over-aggression, I mean, at the end of the day, Rens is an incredibly confident group of people. They're confident in their ability, and rightfully so, as we've seen. They really are hitting their shots, and it's daunting. It's daunting to play against a team of people that are so mechanically gifted, and they know it. We will see that Frost pick that you talk about, but not on Bedroom, on the CC, wondering to see if a Meeps is looking to catch some kill-hungry attackers off guard. Let's see if we get another Pog next.
So there is the age-old choice that was made there by Kotari. Do you bring grenade denial, or do you bring wall denial? As the 6 pick was taken off the Wamai to go to the Bandit. With Frost out. Mozzie out as well for some drone denial.
Honestly though, it might have been the right call, other than that basement where we saw like a lot of utility spam coming from Dirt Tunnel right at the end there. Grumpy Grapes just really isn't capitalizing off their utility at all. I mean, we've got Zofia with concussions to flush out these defenders. We've got Ash. I mean, she lost one of her breach charges. She still has 2. We've got Nomad's flashes and Maverick's frag grenades, especially on a site like CCTV. I mean, these are incredibly impactful. But I mean, Grumpy Grapes are dying with drones in pocket, with utility in pocket, and I guess Rens has just made that decision and said, like, look, they're not using their utility. Let's just sort of let's just protect the wall, essentially.
And I think that's right. It is very hard to use your utility when Kotari is just at a window taking you down. Speaking of taking down, Cass removed Burnabear from playing on that rafters position. I can't see if there's a second player rafters. Kotari lurking around that bedroom. With the rafters players gone, the Maverick can now do their job. Angry Wolf taken out by Toki.
And I was seeing exactly what we're sort of talking about is, I mean, Ren's playing on that balcony position, this disjointed roam. I mean, it is very
Toki
very easy
going absolutely ham, grabbing Kotari.
Killing Qatari, that's a huge kill. I mean, look, I mean, they've put this down to a 5v2, and I mean, it's a demise
5v1
of
even.
manufacturing. Oh no, they're just peeking, they're peeking and peeking. Rens just, like, will not relent on these kills. They're really looking for this
Sporky
kills.
taking out Cheese on that red stairs, but just can't quite find another. Pad the stats. That's it. 4-2 half for Rens. That's, you've got to be happy if you're Grumpy Grapes on that one.
Indeed, indeed. I mean, at the end of the day, even if you don't win, especially with this double round robin, and we saw even last season, you can make finals off that round difference, even if you're taking these 3 rounds against incredibly powerful teams like Rens. That could be the difference into you making finals or not. So I mean, these are very, very monumental movements. And in fact, the other way around could be said, with it being incredibly close at the top, these 2-3 rounds could be the thing that holds Rens back from going. So they're looking to really, really capitalize. They're not just looking for a win, they need a dominant win, especially after sort of like the top has become very, very competitive.
And the whole league is just as competitive as...
Incredibly. Yes.
It's a very close league, but one game could spell going from 2nd to 6th, as we've seen sometimes.
Exactly. I mean, you saw Viking Army first week with the 2-0, sort of a fall from grace, if you will. But I mean, with the 2 games a night, I mean, people are coming and going from that top 4 position like instantly. It's really
a revolving door.
Game.
It's a revolving door of the top 4.
It really is. It really is. I mean, previous seasons, you've almost guaranteed. I mean, from the get-go, you've been able to say, look, this is the teams that are making the finals. It's obvious. But I mean, the standard of gameplay has increased so much. I mean, there are no teams here that are saying, look, we're just going to screw around, we're just here to have fun. All these teams are incredibly fulfilled with this competitive integrity, are performing incredibly well. I mean, it's amazing to see. It really is.
It's a really strong competition out there, and this time, we've got the castle. We've got the Walden Isle that it's protecting. There is balance, once again, and it's been brought by the Grumpy Grapes. But hopefully we'll see some of that roam, but we'll definitely get a roam clear out of Rens, who are looking at taking this red stairs position very quickly into the round. They've already taken the garage and the rafters
just
control.
Sort of seen that Goyer Shield, got a bit excited, fired her both of her impact charges actually, which will be caught out by the OMI, and that is why, you know, Sophia's concussions, you can use them to flush people out, but unfortunately it's a bit too slow and that utility will remain. Sorry, I correct myself, she used the second impact to sort of make that line of sight, but right now they can't clear that shield, but Kotari
There's another one being put in.
Right,
it's not going to deal with it because the OMI threw out another frisbee on top of that door. But the third one should go down. There it goes. Caught in the fire as well, Toki. Can she get out? Yes, she can. Just with a sliver of health remaining. Sporky now holding the angle onto the player in construction. Looking for this player in cash here with Jaeger. Does manage to find that kill onto Yoshi. Rens. Is that Meeps pushing down? Down red stairs? No, that's the...
Cheese is returning fire with the UMP, an incredibly aggressive position, but she does have a lot of support.
Cheese looking for those players. The hole's just not in the correct spots. We can see them, they can't. There's 3 players in there. I thought the swing was going to happen.
It's something you see on the cast, I mean, and even with the match...
There we go, Sporky
takes her out. We can see where they are, and I'm sure everyone watching is screaming, just shoot through the wall, just shoot through the wall, you can see right next to you, but they can't, they don't know where they are.
There we go, the call comes out, red ping, Cass gets one, falls back before the trade can come through, Cortari looking hungry for that refrag, but Cass just going back into sight, not really wanting to give that away. Toki coming back from a very long, safe flank, back onto site, stopped in her tracks on that main stairs. Cass, the entire attack looks like they're collapsing through that logistics room there, and construction.
It's down to 10. It's down
pushing
to 10
into
seconds.
that
You've
door.
got the Goyas, you've got the mute, but they're just gonna push through. They're securing these kills. Renz wants to go for it. Oh, and I'm frozen, so I don't know the score. You'll have to tell me what just happened there.
The round finished with the Wamai on the stairs being swung out from the logistics room after
I mean,
what
that's
I
exactly
assume was a
it.
very good call.
I mean, Renz is really becoming emboldened by, these successes. And as you can see, as the game sort of progresses, they're getting a bit bolder. They're taking these fights, and it's working in their favor. You can't even be mad. You can't really criticize it because, as much as you can say objectively, like, hey, you shouldn't be playing this forward or this much with less intel. It's working, and at the end of the day, what really matters is just whether or not you take those rounds. And take those rounds is exactly what Renz has been doing all night and throughout the league. And so I suspect we will see this aggressive playstyle continue for many weeks to come.
And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. No one's shown that it's broken yet, so they don't need to look at themselves and go, hey, maybe we need to fix this, because it works. And when you've got that level of talent in your team, you can just make it work. Grumpy Grapes now setting up for that CCTV cache hold with a castle.
We are also seeing the head highs, not the nitrocell holes. So it looks like they are going more for a frag against frag instead of that plant denial, which again, like I said, it's interesting, especially against a team like Renz. Because the fact of the matter is, yes, you have your strats, and yes, you try run them, and this is how you've gone in your scrims, but you really have to adapt against certain teams, and Renz is one of those teams that has such a unique playstyle that you can't do things like open that many lines of sight, because if they get it, they will capitalize on it, and they will send you into the drone screen.
There are 2 C4s in Cheese and Cass. They both do have those C4s for the plant denial. With Cass playing below, I think that may be an option, so long as Renz don't
She survives.
push hard through that roam clear. Maverick attempting Kotari, attempting to trick.
She doesn't get it.
Doesn't quite get it.
I think
Should
it's the
be
edge
able
that
to-
I can't quite see.
Should be able to find it, but there we go. That's it. Just the last little bit that needed to be removed, and we'll have the breach open with just the one little bit of
A bomb has been located.
Kotari's gas canister. No picks have been made yet on either team. Both teams just holding, gathering intel, trying to clear the utility out. Player on rappel there. Taking some fire.
I don't know how I feel about this SMG-11 on top of the green box. The Meeps will take out Nova, the castle. The UMP doesn't have a lot of defensible position. They've already cleared rafters. They're going to go for that rafters control. They've got the wall open. They've really pushed back. All of the defenders are sitting in cache, sitting in construction. If they can deal with this Mozzie, this looks like a fast plan execute. Everyone's just waiting on their positioning.
If the Mozzie just stays where he is, waiting for that plant, the C4
Will that Nitro get a kill?
come in clutch. It'll be waited
Just
for.
sitting there.
It'll be waited for, just opening that up. We'll go for the plant, and then the C4 from below, pre-placed. The Mozzie's just got to stay alive until that point goes. Is the plant being heard? Will the C4 go off? It does.
Oh, and
Cass
it's
taking
finally-
out Angry.
Nice, 30 seconds.
Smoke
This
comes
is huge.
out.
They've got the smoke.
30 seconds still. Smoke has 2 canisters left from, or maybe 1. I think all of them have been used.
Oh,
2
Ren's
or 1
taken
have
out
been used.
smoke, dealt with it.
Ren
But the
from
Vermont
below.
is still there, and she will kill her below. Keep him denying the plant. The diffuser's right there. The 15 seconds. Renz has to find Cheese.
Attackers recovered.
Cheese is just playing in construction there. It's a 2v1 now.
Mozzie's been
Cass-
taken out, and Meeps can plant.
Seconds to go.
Meeps is planting now.
Attackers activating the
Does
Unlucky.
get it
Does not
off,
Get the plant off.
but does manage to find 1. Cheese finding with the
Well,
shotgun,
the
doesn't
shotgun.
quite
No.
take out Kotari.
Lucky.
That was an that round, you had two players staring each other down, furiously reloading their weapons, just seeing, can I get this other guy? Just staying completely in line of sight.
I mean, honestly, as much as you have, like, obviously, you had Meeps on the sledge with the L8 incredibly powerful gun, and you have the SMG-11, again, very, very potent at range, but it's moments like those that you just have to switch your weapons. I mean, yes, you might not be confident on the SMG-11 if you're a sledge main, if you're not playing the support, and vice versa. Maybe you don't want to take that range with the shotgun, but, I mean, it's infinitely better than sort of giving this face down at point blank, wanting to reload. I mean, arguably even going for the knife in that situation might have changed things differently, but alas, that is not what happened, and this is the way things have gone out. We saw a cheeky little fuse pick. Interested to see if maybe Kotari's looking, realize that it's a basement hole, maybe looking for a little bit of BM, or maybe that fuse is simply brought just to clear out a lot of this utility, because as already mentioned before, I mean, like, look at this lineup, with the IQ, with the Ash, with the Zofia, I mean, even the Thermite's gun, it's so much fragging potential if they can burn these ADSs. Grumpy Grapes has the smoke on the shield, but I mean, that's about their only buffer against the aggression of Rens. If they can burn that utility, Rens could close out a 7-2 incredibly, incredibly fast, and I'll be interested to see how this round plays out.
There's not much utility to clear for the fuse. There's no wall denial, there's just a couple of grenade denial or throwable denial, which, I mean, they sort of counter each other, but the fuse charges always have more. The
exactly.
black eyes from Valkyrie, they'll be there, but they will probably not be in places that you're going to be fuse charging.
I wasn't so much meaning like destroying these gadgets specifically, but I mean, if you get those fuse charges, like, if you get that where these ADSs are, where the Wamais are, and they are burnt out, and you have this
early kill on the C4 from the Nitro on Yoshi. It's an early one from
stand in kitchen. I mean, time and time again, you see. This is why you have the Hibana playing on the window, but Rens has just gotten too complacent, they've gotten too aggressive, and Grumpy Grapes has shown, hey, we have our cameras, we have our strategy, we are not going to go up with a fight. I mean, Rens can still take the Citizen, a massive loss, but I mean, it's definitely huge in favor, and there goes the second Nitro not able to finish off Kotari, but the gunshots from below will. It's a 3v5. Grumpy Grapes is still staying in the game. Rens has just gotten a bit too aggressive with those hatches, and they have been punished. Punished they have been by Grumpy Grapes, willing to stay in this round, trying to take as many rounds as possible.
And when you've got a camera in kitchen, you've got that Nokia in the back pocket, loaded with explosives. You'll just fetch that after the round. It'll be somewhere in the room. Thermite now opening the Moto hatch drop, and that looks like the path of ingress that Rens are going to attempt to take has been barricaded off. Drones coming in, being played a lot slower now by Rens that have to be careful because the menace of the C4s and the smoke still having the smoke babes around. 5 on site, can't just run in and hope to trade out. Because if it is one-on-one trades, you're not going to win it with a 3v5.
Precisely, I mean...
Angry being very aggressive down that Moto hatch, now pushing main corridor with the rest of the team.
If they have the intel, they can see that there's only one in blue. They could go for a church push, but that information is just not something they have right now. And they've got the 30 seconds. I mean, they can drone, but Rens is under a lot of pressure. Angry Wolf goes down. It's now the 2v4. At least it won't be a flawless victory. I mean, Burner Bear is in a 1v4. 20 seconds on the clock. No, she's got both of her drones. I mean, but still, I mean, you don't have a lot of time to work with. 10 seconds to try and clear out Implanio.
Drone player down by the vending machine, takes her out.
Grumpy Grapes will take her out. Unlucky. I mean, and that's it. Grumpy Grapes doesn't have a lot to work with. They're at match point. They're sitting at a 6-3 deficit, but they have realized that if they keep their cool, if they sit there and they don't challenge Rens in these fights, that Rens will face check. Rens will go around the corner. They will get sloppy, and they will take rounds of them. but Grumpy Grapes doesn't have room for mistake. If they want to somehow draw this out, they need to win 3 rounds in a row, and Renz is certainly not willing to just sit there and take that happen. As you can see, a much more conservative lineup. We've got the Dokkaebi really wanting to clear the roamers, trying to sort of recover from such a quick and violent loss as just happened last round.
It did go to the distance, but most of the round looked like it was spent with Renz sort of losing their head and going, well, what do we do now? We've lost 2 of our more important players for that push. What do we do? They were just random C4s. We couldn't have been expected to see that.
Look at this lineup here with Kaz on 13 kills. Wow.
Cass is putting in a lot of work there. Switching over to the Jaeger for...
I mean, that being said, as much as it's an impressive scoreboard, we certainly can't discount the rest of the Grumpy Grapes team, who have played this immensely well, from their entries, from their roamers to their hard supports. I mean, it's just, this is how you play Siege, ladies and gentlemen, and this is how you play Siege well. Grumpy Grapes are staying so far in, and let's see if they can take any more rounds. Maybe even to overtime.
If they can, they could take it to overtime, and that would be a treat.
Exactly.
We get to see more Grumpy, see more Rams,
Yeah.
see more Siege. And while fraggers bring the views, it's the support that wins the games.
At the same time, I want to see Grumpy Grapes come on top, but I've got my own game in 20 minutes. So I'll be rushing between them. But
Is that against either of these teams?
no, it's against Radical Rebels, which will be interesting considering when they were under the 71st name. That was my old team, so we'll see many familiar faces.
So it's a grudge match then.
Not necessarily. I mean, like WL is such a close community. I mean, everyone here, we're all friends. I hope.
The Maverick will get the wall open with the trick. Thermite going in through the back as well.
I mean, this is a pretty standard push. I mean, you've got the split push, but I mean, it hasn't been seen so far in this game. We've already got 3 people taking our bedrooms. You've got no roamer presence from Grumpy Grapes, who are just complacent with Planter now underneath and holding site because they haven't faced this from Renz before. And that's exactly what I mean by seeing that adaptation. Renz has realized that they can't just run in through breach, they can't run up rafters, and they've gone from a rear take. They haven't quite been noticed how many people are exactly here. Obviously, they will have heard that thermite charge, but depending on how fast they clear that utility, this might be an unwelcome surprise for Grumpy Grapes right here, right now.
Cortari going down alone to try and find those players down below, looking for either to get rid of that utility there that the Thermite's trying to get through, but also looking at trying to take out some of those pesky T4s from below that have been, really, those Nokias have been a thorn in the side of Renz. The entire Renz team have not been liking those little phone calls going out.
Oh, Kotari doesn't find the grenade kill.
Doesn't quite grab the pseudo
Meeps
impact
just
grenade
runs.
kill.
Meeps
Meep
runs
sending
straight
it
in.
into sight, taken out by Nova.
And Thermite's punished as well with the wall open. I mean, you can't just leave your support there. Meeps went in looking to secure a kill, trying to turn the tide, but you have to wait, especially a 3v5. You can't do something like that, and Grumpy Grapes has capitalized on it. It's a 2v5. Kotari's on her own, Burnabear's on her own. They're incredibly disjointed. 9 seconds, they can't plant the diffuser. All Grumpy Grapes have to do is survive, but they'll go for the kill and get the flawless round. Grumpy Grapes is still in it at 6-4.
And that is a flawless round from Grumpy. One more flawless round from them, and they're equal with the flawlesses.
I mean, it's interesting in that, like, Renz has realized that they can't just rely off this aggression, but at the same time, it seems to be what they default to, and all Grumpy Grapes has to do is keep them on their toes, keep them swinging, and into the welcoming arms of incredibly capable gunners is exactly what we're seeing here. I mean, Grumpy Grapes, performance. And while it was certainly no laughing matter last season, I mean, you cannot deny how much they have improved in the off season, going toe to toe, looking for an into that top 4, trying to make finals. And we do see an Echo pick, even more plant denial. I mean, and Grumpy Grapes has realized the formula. I mean, Renz is going for these fights, and they're wasting a lot of time when they're not capitalizing the utility, and they're just trying to make it take as long as possible. You've got the castle saying, no, if you want to go to site, you're going to have to clear this out. You've got the Echo that, I mean, if they try and plant with like less than 40 seconds, they're simply not going to find any luck here. And they're looking at Renz and they're saying, okay, if you want to take these fights, come at us. We're not going to let you have them. We're not going to give you an inch. And let's see if this goes 6-5. Oh, Renz will finally close this out.
One thing that I have noticed is that the formula has been changed by Grumpy. They've stopped being that hyper aggressive, let's hold these aggressive angles and these really hard angles on Renz, because Renz are just the more mechanically gifted team. You're not going to be able to win those ones. You've got to have that backup. You've got to have that trade ready. And even if you can double swing one of the Renz players, there's no way you can have your crosshair in 2 places at once. So you can either come out going that 1-for-1, or you can take them out before they have a chance to land that cheeky headshot.
We will see an incredibly aggressive sort of like solo position from Yoshi here. I don't know if Kotari spotted her. I mean, the drone's gone right past. We'll be interested to see. I can't see if she's in garage or oil. She might be sitting in oil, and that would be the explanation for that. But okay, yeah, she is in fact sitting in oil, probably looking for the late flank up. Sporky walking right over her, unbeknownst to her position, sort of crouch walking around. And again,
Burnabear still on the drone there, might be able to hear if Yoshi does decide to come up through that ladder. Red stairs, slow crouch walking up is Sporky. Not wanting to make any noise on this barbed wire, knowing that it will give away her position, does push through it anyway. Has the player on the green boxes heard?
I'm really
Doesn't
nervous.
look like it.
She isn't capitalized off his spine.
Has reinforced off the rotate though, to delay that little bit of extra time on Renz trying to get through, as they do not have a hard breacher in position to try and get through that cache. They're going to have to try and push through that door.
The thing I'm interested here is with Sporky checking me. I mean, they're either one of two things. Either she has the intel that no one was top of red, or she's just face checking even with intel. I mean, either or.
Taking the C4 once again. C4
barely
surviving this time. Sporky now down to just 1 shot away. Cortari on the buck, also I think getting a bit of that collateral, but taken out by Yoshi, who was doing that really long late flank, as you said, taking out Cortari on the buck. Sporky now going for that window peek on the suicide balcony.
And we can also
they
see
do
this.
have CCTV control to allow her to do that confidently. A lot of players proning now, pushing into that cash spot. Cash, there's a trade that goes down. Meeps takes out Cass, but gets traded out by Toki. Burnabear looking at going for the flank and getting the Claymore. Stepping a feet in the Claymores set by Burnabear.
3v3 in 15 seconds, there's really not much they can do. And you can see...
Burnabear goes down from, I think it was the castle. Don't know if they know that they've got that kill. Planting behind the racks, but that's not going to do it. 2 seconds left.
There's not much
and that is it.
There.
Defenders win. 5-6. Here we go, overtime.
I mean, like, you are seeing this, and to put it quite, like, to put it quite frankly, Renz really need to learn how to work together. I mean, they're dying with drones in their pocket. They're not refragging. They're going on individually. I don't know whether or not this is emblematic of Longer Stars, or if, quite frankly, they thought that they could go for these easy rounds against Grumpy Grapes, who has not relented, who has finally learned a winning formula. I mean, we saw in that end screen, we had the 2 dead players spectating other teammates instead of watching drones. Like, you have such an immense amount of powerful utility as an attacker, especially drones, but they're not just they're not using it. And as you can see, Meeps is switching from the IQ to a Jackal. And it's just not something we need to see. I mean, like, yes, Jackal will find the roamers, but if you bring a Nomad for flank watch, or even if you just watch your drones, this does not need to be happening. Rins can and could have won a lot of these rounds. They should not have been losing them. But I mean, they all have just been going for these gunfights, and they just need to sit there and say, look, I mean, it's 6-5 match point. We need to set up our drones, we need to be watching our flank, and we need to, like, get ahead in the game. I mean, we're already seeing in the prep phase, there are absolutely no drones on site. They're sort of just going around. I mean, none of these drones are in place positions, except for Kotari's over there. Walkies is sort of sitting in secret and gets spotted out. We've got one sort of driving around bar. You can't be wasting utility like this. I mean, drones are incredibly crucial. Intel is incredibly crucial. And Renz is being incredibly cavalier, having relied on, like, this mechanical skill for so long. And Grumpy Grapes could put this in overtime, very realistically, at the 6-5 score point.
And I think it is a case of the Wrens just being their own worst enemy in their own confidence and their own gunplay, that they're not looking at. And I said it before, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I think maybe something's coming loose, and it's just about to break. You need to tighten up those bolts, tighten up those. Do your due diligence with the drones and making sure you're checking all those corners, you're keeping your drone alive through the prep phase and being able to use them later on to be able to clear some of this. Meep's now going in first as like a bit of a human drone.
Yeah, exactly what you're saying. I mean, yes, we've got like this vague drone sort of going through bar, but I mean, you got like they're face checking everything. Yes, sure, there is no one there, but right now, if someone was playing top red, if and Kaz in the bar position, maybe looking to capitalize on this later on in the game, if someone was in stock, I mean, these are all very, very round-ending crucial moments. They'll use the Dokkaebi charge and find out it's clear, and they've got the Jackal ping. But you've only got 3 of those Jackal pings. They aren't live, and you can't spot everyone. You can't just rely on Jackal as a crutch. You do, in fact, have to use your drones, which they are starting to use more. I will give credit where credit is due. But you can't just constantly face-check everything in a game where there's, quite frankly, a one-shot headshot mechanic.
Now, that Mozzie, I think, has rotated up to the top floor, nearly. Looking at that main stairs, just... This could be a very late flank if they go down that red stairs, because there's no flank watching that area. Angry Wolf is going to go watch bar, but if you go up that main stairs, rotate your way through the master, through construction, down the red stairs, you've got a line of sight
down blue, sort of looking for a kill. It does find
Bernabear taking out Yoshi with that kill. Don't know if she knows that there's one playing on generator.
She will find out now with the Jackal.
Angry Wolf pushing that. Very, very aggressive with the... And it does not pay off. Angry taken out on that thermite by the Mozzie, who... Mozzie drop Moto?
I think she came down main, considering there was no one else there. That's a possibility. I don't think Motor was open.
It is a possibility.
Going straight onto site, I mean, she does get the kills, and Sporky is going to put it down to 4v1.
Dropped blue with 12 seconds to go. Diffuser has been picked up by Meeps, who will now plant.
And unlucky, they close it out.
Does close it out on the Mozzie.
It's... I mean...
It's a win.
Yeah,
it's a win for Rens, but I think if they go back and analyze some of those rounds that they lost, that really it could have gone either way if they'd done a couple of small things differently. A couple of changes could have been made.
I mean,
and that scoreline could have been 7-2. But Grumpy Grapes did very, very well holding those next 3 rounds out, and I was expecting to see overtime after we saw those 3 rounds. Very, very dominant from Grapes there. Just that basement site proved to be their bane.
Well, I mean, Renz's sort of outlook to it was, I mean, they had an immense amount of utility, and instead of trying to work around that, they said, look, we're going to keep sending more and more bodies. We're going to go straight down blue. We're going to win off these gunfights. We're going to take these fights. And I mean, towards the end, you saw there, maybe even Grumpy Grapes, like Icarus, flying a bit too close to the sun, opening up those lines of sight into blue and taking those fights that they didn't need to take. I mean, so many people have said this, but I'll say it again. Siege is like mental is such an important part of this game.
It is.
You are
It is.
your worst enemy, and that's exactly what we saw on both of these teams. And this is another win for Rens by the sort of brute force outlook into it, and they will continue to take rounds. And the interesting thing to see is if they keep winning games like this, are they going to stay like this? And in the Viking Army game, which is match 2 of the night, will Viking Army, a team that has also been taking a large amount of rounds from very, very competent teams, will Viking Army finally dethrone Rens and show them, hey, you can't just run down blue, you can't just take these fights, because we punish you for sitting alone, we will punish you for going down, and it will be interesting to see.
We will punish you for sending it. And
Quite
you can't just... You don't just send it like that. We will punish you for that. We will bring more C4s and we will double down on that. That's what I was expecting to see out of the Grumpy Grapes this last game, the last round. And I don't think they brought... I think they maybe had 1 C4, maybe 2.
I'm gonna be honest. I was looking forward.
They doubled down on it.
I was looking forward to a 5-man C4 play underneath CCTV. That would have been glorious.
That would have been something to see. Give Rens the site and they'll try and plant. They won't roam clear. They'll just try and plant and take all the C4s to the face to do it.
Exactly.
Also, instead of setting up some of those head height shooting holes for, for both sides to shoot through, why not tilt it in your advantage and use those C4s? Just toss them over those holes into the site and just alley-oop them. That's
what I was sort of talking about. Was we saw the holes in CCTV at head high, but you don't need to put them there. You open the top of that wall. You have the smokes. You have 2 nitros. You can sit in cache for hours and days upon end and keep flinging utility over that wall. Because with each smoke, with each nitro, that's like 30 seconds you can't plant until you deal with that utility. It's like. Honestly, I mean, if any teams are sitting there wondering how do we beat Rens, don't peek them, please.
C4s.
Don't
peek C4s.
Them. Yeah, I mean,
even bring a pulse and just play 2 C4s in two C4s in lounge. Honestly, 1 on the pulse and 1 on someone else.
Honestly,
you've got them.
If there are any Caveira mains out there, if there are any bold Caveiras. I know one specifically. I'll name and share. I mean, Zero Prince from Radical Rebels, and an amazing Caveira player. I've seen them dominating the ranked and casual. I mean, if you go against Rens and you whip out that Caveira, you get that sneaking terror on someone on their own. You could change that game out. I'm just saying.
And another name to drop would be Freeze Jump from the Viking Army. That's a mean Caveira player right there as well. So maybe we'll see it in the next game. If any Vikings or fans of Vikings are watching, get Freeze onto the Caveira.
And a little bit of thing. If you wanna see me get one tapped, I'm playing for Radical Rebels, my old team, as I said before, on the main channel in
mainstream.
Yeah, in 4 minutes. In 4 minutes.
Don't steal the viewers from here. Don't steal the viewers from here. Stay here and see more of the Rens' aggressive playstyle and see if Vikings have the
hey Viking
play
bring nitros
to go against them.
Bring nitros.
Bring nitros. Bring a Caveira. Bring weird stuff and just don't peek them.
Exactly.
We're gonna throw to ads now. We're gonna throw to a break and we'll be back for that next game shortly.
Au revoir.
And just quickly, before we do actually head off, surprise, we're back. I just want to say a big thank you to Ticked for coming on and just being a community caster with the rest of us.
Thank you so much for having me. Honestly, I mean, it's been a great bit of fun. I've never casted before. I'm sure that was evident from a few of my stutters tonight, but no, I had a great deal of fun. I mean, this is a great community, and I'll be sure to try and cast more in you're amazing to cast with. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yep, we'll see you again, I'm sure.
Indeed. Au revoir for now.
All right, and this time we're actually going to go to the break.
Bye.
So,
It's coming at you like monsters in the night, and you feel the danger that makes you wanna hide. When the cards are stacked against you and you're standing on the edge, now's the time. Now's the time. Think about all the dreams you keep inside. Think about all the ones you love. I know this beating heart will be my guide. I know that we can overcome. When the world's so cold and we're losing hope, I need her. I need her. When the darkness comes and we're overrun, yeah, I need her. That's when we need each other. 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 When you're falling faster and don't know where you are, you feel the danger closer than your heart. When the weight is getting heavy and the future is unsteady, close your eyes, close your eyes. Think about all the dreams you keep inside. Think about all the ones you love. I know this beating heart will be my guide. I know that we can overcome. When the world's so cold and we're losing hope, I need it, I need it. When the darkness comes and we're overrun, yeah, I need it. That's when we need each other. 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 I don't want that, no. Even when I'm falling back to someone I don't want to love, I don't want that, no. Even when I'm falling back in your arms. I don't want that. I don't want to love. I don't want that. I don't want to love. I don't want that. I don't want to love. I don't want that. I don't want to love. Oh, I don't want that, no. Even when I'm falling back to someone I don't want to love, I don't want that, no. Even when I'm falling back in your arms. I don't want that, no. I don't want to love. I don't want that, no. I don't want to love. I don't want that, no.
Get elite real-world performance for your desktop PC with 10th Gen Intel Core processors. If you're looking to game, create, live stream, or stay productive, 10th Gen Intel Core processors deliver an optimal balance of frequency, cores, and threads to handle real-world usages. Get enthusiast-level performance with an Intel Core i9 processor, up to 5.3 GHz clock speed for peak gaming performance and content creation workloads. Or for competitive gameplay and content creation, choose an Intel Core i7 with up to 5.1 GHz clock speed to handle your demanding applications. The Intel Core i5 processor with up to 4.8 GHz gives you a seamless AAA gaming and entertainment experience. And with up to 4.6 GHz clock speed, the Intel Core i3 is a great fit for everyday tasks and productivity. If you're looking to push your system even further, get additional performance headroom with unlocked 10th Gen Intel Core processors, supported by Intel's advanced overclocking controls. Bring elite, real-world performance to your desktop PC with 10th Gen Intel Core processors.
We're in. What's up?
Hello. What up, everybody? We have Godwill now joining us with voice.
Hey.
He's usually the observer, the silent one, the one giving us stuff to say. Now he's going to be saying.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing all the talking.
We're going to go straight into the map ban for Wrens versus Viking Army, and it's Chalet. Now we're going to try and speedrun getting this server set up so that we can get the game going.
Yeah, most of the players are already in the lobby, so
Most of them in the lobby. If we
everyone's
just
just going
have
to check
a
if
look
it's
at
ready.
the standings from last week.
Yeah, sure. Let's bring that
We
up.
go across to that. Got quacked as the only team with 4 and 4. Skyfire, Will, what are you doing? Last week it was Viking, and Viking still doesn't have the right. That's just a mess.
I'm just going to blame
That is an absolute
XPE Alex
mess.
on this one. Alright, look. I'm not in charge of updating the standings, so any players out there, ignore this one. It's not correct. But
Quacked and Wrens are the only teams that actually have their correct little icon next to their name. But
Look.
that's okay.
look, when in doubt, blame XPE Alex. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Alex. All right.
Yeah,
Shift
yeah.
the blame
Shift the
to
blame
Alex. Got
It's
it.
not called Will. I just click the buttons and do the observing.
Make the magic
the
happen.
magic happen,
Make the
exactly.
magic happen.
Exactly. Well, I think the girls are ready to go into the game now.
Ready to go.
Ready to go.
Let's go
Let's
then.
go. Let's jump in on Chalet.
All the way to Chalet in the mountains of Canada. Where is it?
I think it's Canada, right? It's either that or like
think it's-
somewhere in Europe.
Italy.
Italy.
Like the Alps.
The Alps.
Somewhere. Alps somewhere.
Somewhere. We'll figure it out. All right.
Chalet.
Chalet. Cool.
Good fun. Have luck. Thank you, Em.
Has to be different. Just has to be. Thatcher band.
Thatcher ban.
Yeah.
First one out.
I mean, anything different, normal, like Thatcher usual ban.
If it's not the defenders that ban it, it'll be the attackers, usually.
Interesting. See what ban comes next.
Maverick. Makes sense.
Calculated place.
Calculated
Calculated
all the
plays
time.
and banning, dude. It starts here. Right in the ban.
The what is it? The 6th half or something we're up to now. We've got the 4 halves of attacker, defender, your mental game, their mental game, and now the ban phase is another half added onto that.
Lucy.
Would that just come as part of the rest of
The rest of
the rest of the extra half?
extra halves. Yeah. Oh, Mira, my favorite character. Banned. Feels bad.
You never get to play Mira.
I
though.
never. You know, back in the day when she first came out, fine. But now, no.
Because people worked out that, oh, let's just put it against the soft wall. And then you can shoot
I
through
didn't.
it.
I swear, I did not abuse that at all. No way. Never did.
Yeah.
No.
All right, first sight. Ren's on the defense this time. Master bedroom and office. Top floor.
No 6-pick. Oh.
Six pick coming out on the Jaeger to Wamai.
Oh, and then on the Dockerbee to Barna. Interesting.
From M onto the Habana. Running the 2 hard breaches on Chalet.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Alright, starting off here. Wall denial out into the main wall there, the main balcony. Now, I've got a confession here to make. Will.
Okay.
My Chalet calls are nowhere near.
I have a confession to make. I haven't played Siege in a number of years, so my calls are terrible as well. So we're both gonna have a fun time here, just trying to figure out what's happening on this map. But looks like a standard setup from what I've seen lately. Drones are out pretty well.
Just unfortunate that it's not Villa, so I
No.
can't freely make the Norway call.
Man. I wish Norway was in. You know.
Can't freely make that call because Loam's not here.
Already.
Angry Wolf getting pinned. Don't know what she was trying to do, but someone's punished her for it. Black Eye has gone out, but was it worth 70% of your health to do so? Missing the Black Eye there, right by the feet of M on the Habana. Still setting up the site. Reinforcing. Sporky playing down below study in games.
It's going to be
Players of
creeping
VA
around here.
coming up the stairs now with
Bomb
Sporky.
located by attackers.
So they've found sight. It's always a good start.
good, that's
First
great
thing,
stuff.
find sight.
It comes out.
Gone with the early pick onto Meeps. That's going to be really, really good for the mental game of Vikings there, getting an early pick, lighting up another one, and taking no damage yourself. Drones in plenty.
Swing out the cam there.
Activating drone.
Flank watch from Weird One there. Maybe waiting for the Nomad to come around again. But Sporky coming up those stairs. Or not, falling off back into the bar.
Bit of gunfight going on Qatari there. Taking a bit of
Cortari
damage.
looking to come in through that back way now. Not wanting to tangle with the windows on Solarium too much, but holding an angle there and looking. Will M and Weird One see Cortari gets the angle onto Gon there, and it's evened it up at 4-on-4. Gon complementing the shot. Sarah getting that kill onto Sporky. That would have been the flank watch there. And that's the vigil down. Breeze now pushing up Solarium stairs. Bit of vertical play coming out from the Vikings. Not quite managing to land the shots. But pushing the bandit off that area. Angry Wolf taking out Sarah now. Thermite is gone. They're down to just the
2v3.
Habana to create some of those breaches. 2v3. Piano's being pushed by M.
Rand's lost.
Double kill from Freeze.
Burn.
Leaving just one left in Burnabear. Burnabear taking a lot of damage and going prone behind the desk.
You're out of time.
Just managing to leave that round down to time.
Almost a very
That was
good
a close
clutch.
round.
Yeah.
That was an incredibly close round. Down to Burnabear on 10 health. Going now to basement.
Oh, Bit of wine in the cellar.
Cortari switching out to that Vigil. Sporky being put on the Legion. Still quite a roam heavy lineup there. The Flores coming out with weird one.
Six
Don't
pick
six
onto
pick,
Mozzie.
please.
Sporky opting out of Legion.
Sees the Flores, gets scared.
Defenders protect your
Spooked.
bombs from being
Absolutely
defused by
spooked.
attackers.
Terrifying operator though. He is terrifying. And he's already got that F in chat ready. Holding up that card. They're really ready for him to push those drones right through.
Just absolutely scared. Flores,
Terrified.
terrifying character. Might see some bandit tricking here on this garage door.
10
Maybe, and that'll be a good one to see.
5 seconds to insertion.
Don't know what I'm looking at.
Don't know
there.
either.
Mozzie
Just
making a
like-
traffic light out of S.
Must locate and defuse the bomb.
Absolutely terrified.
We're in. Vikings now pushing onto the map.
These will protect us.
They know where it is. Weird one. Setting up into a position. Flashbang going out. And that's a
pick.
very early pick onto M
Quite sure that was.
on the Zafia.
Pushing our defenses.
Would have been a pick out. Maybe that double
Yeah,
window
peek out the window.
on the fireplace balcony.
Meeps here, terrified of the drone, just sitting on the hole, ready to cover it down.
Camping that hole. 2 pests still there. 2 players camping down that hole, just stopping that Flores
Flores not able
from
to
doing her thing.
the hole's been camped. Really can't do much. There's gonna go another one.
There's 2 players watching that hole and just making sure nothing enters. Sporky now roaming that top floor still, looking to see if she can get another kick from that. Slowly moving her way around. Probably looking at going down that study staircase and maybe rotate back down to blue if I feel like you've wasted enough time. However, Cortari leaving sight and going upstairs. Sporky coming round that west main flank, down on top of Sarah and Freeze, who are playing in that garage spot.
Located a bomb.
Freeze being very careful about the vertical play that is a potential from Renz. Good one trying to hold that angle out so that no one can drop through the west main stairs.
It's gonna be a pick.
Sporky being shut down by Weird One, holding that angle onto the west main stairs. Gone pushing down the blue stairs and seeing what she can make of it. Sarah getting the wall open from the garage side as the other one doesn't seem to be able to be opened. Getting the angle onto the player but missing, just looking away just at that time. 5 seconds to go. Plant's coming down. Freeze covering the plant. Swinging absolutely everything. Hitting her shots. That's a double for Freeze.
Third, not there.
Just gets taken out. The third one not found. Burner Bear picking up a double as well. Onto the diffuser.
That's gonna be easy defuse for Burner Bear there. Very nice play coming in there, retaking the site.
Defenders have
Unfortunately,
disabled the bomb.
wasn't
Was it
able to
good?
cover all angles
Defender
there.
mission successful.
Good retake, but Freeze just unable to hold that off. Sarah unable to finish it up. Getting the plant down with that time left was no small task with the amount of utility used to try and take the other way. Rotating out was probably the best option that they did have at the end of that. And they did manage to make something work. Going to kitchen and dining room. And the jury's still out, at least with the circles that I play with, about which site to go to out of kitchen, dining, and games and bar.
The one,
That first floor.
Wami pick, it's onto the Wami. Very nice, 6 pick.
It's all for the mind games.
It's all the mind games.
All for the mind games. Can't see when a 6 pick is used, but you use it to pick for the same thing.
It's just 200 IQ. Nothing beats it.
Weird one. With the Finker. I didn't notice that one before, but I'm liking it.
Bit of a switch up, you know. Got to keep it spicy in there. See if they can
Keep it fresh.
keep it fresh. You know, they're 2-0 down right now, so bit of a fresh select here might help swing it back in their favour.
And with some of the changes, Finker has almost received a bit of a buff with having, instead of temporary hit points, it now goes to full healing, and it slowly decays over time.
Yeah.
All the other buffs have stayed. That you get the recoil and moving through barbed wire. All of those things still stay for the same amount of time, but you get proper hit points now.
Drone is ready.
On checking the drone hole for any feet that she can tag up a little bit. Now droning through the map, trying to find where anyone may be. M pushing into study now, looking for any of the players, just face checking through. Finker boost comes out and they've got to make use of it to be able to push. An LMG Finker as well, not the
usual.
The usual garden variety Finker. We actually have an LMG Finker.
Look, go big or go home, right? Isn't that the saying?
There's not much bigger than the LMG Finker. I think that was Freeze.
Freeze, yeah.
Meeps up from the window, gone, taking out Cortari. Angry Wolf re-peeking from Meeps onto Freeze and just managing to close that out. But the downed player is still downed. And we have 4 players from Vikings, and Meeps is finished off there by Weird One. LMG coming in clutch.
Here comes the adrenaline.
Another Finker boost comes out. That's the third one. Drugged up, in sight. Swinging everything. C4 comes out, doesn't quite make it through. Those Nokias being really hard on the Ren's girls tonight. Not quite doing what they need to do. Burner Bear on the other side of the map, cut off between sight by a wall of Vikings.
Bit of vertical play here coming out.
Lit up, but Weird One with that LMG takes out Sporky, and it's now a 2v4 in Vikings' favour. 45 seconds on the clock. Plenty of time for them to make something happen with the control that they've given themselves. C4 coming out. Does it do anything? No, once again. C4's not Ren's friend right now. Burner Bear has made it back onto site, taking out the LMG of Weird One. Still checking the vertical angles as you can hear those 3 Vikings up above.
15 seconds to go.
One planting. Sarah going for the plant. Burner Bear downed.
Angry Wolf all that's left.
Finished off by M. Angry Wolf, last one on the Valkyrie. Does she have the intel? Doesn't look like it. Spraying through the walls, trying to find one.
Needs to make
Gets
a
the
play,
ping.
but unfortunately gets shut down now.
M with the wall bang. Or not, that was the vertical play, getting the angle. And that is it.
Nice little tap there through the peak hole. Able to
And
secure
that's
that round.
Vikings making themselves with a presence in the game. Getting a round on the board. Ren's being not exactly as dominant as we saw in that last game. They've really struggled. 2 of those rounds have come down to the last second or last... You know, they've got the plant down. One of them was a 2v2. One of them was just because of time and Burner Bear escaping with 2 health. And then you've had that last one that they lost. Vikings coming
Attackers
out
need to
strong.
locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
I think the drone work and calls and teamwork from the Vikings is really shutting down the Wrens and what their aggressive playstyle.
Yeah, I mean, like last game we saw a very strong aggressive playstyle coming out from the Wrens. Not so much this time. There's been a lot of a slowdown, I think, within the gameplay here. We're seeing a lot of end-around timers popping up compared to this aggressive offensive plays and takes. So it's a real switch up for the Wrens.
And I don't think they've adapted well to it just yet.
No, definitely not. They've been wanting to take a bit more of an aggressive approach, it seems, at times,
5
but
seconds to go.
hopefully we can see some changes up now to keep this lead going for them.
Attackers' objective is to locate a bomb and defuse.
They just haven't been able to get that aggression going with the drone work and the teamwork that Viking Army have actually had working with them.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing as what we saw last round, last game as well. Like, it's all about using your drones essentially to scout out the areas. When a team isn't doing that, or is doing that well, it becomes very hard to play an aggressive offensive attack side.
And when they're having those players in positions where they can refrag each other as well, it makes it even harder for the roamer to get away with too much. You either get the pick and lose your life and be traded out, or you just don't go for it and try and waste as much time as you can. And I think that's more where the Wrens are trying for with some of these roams, because they're not able to get those picks freely.
Oh no, they definitely haven't been, and we've seen time and time again that, you know, even if they are getting these picks, they're coming back with minimal health off of these engagements. So it overall doesn't pan out in their favor.
And when you've got that minimal health, the second Viking player just swings you, and that's all she wrote.
Exactly, that's all she wrote.
Cortari taking out, speaking of picks, taking out Weird One. I don't know where that was from. We've been on to Solarium. Couple of repels. Holding some angles. Meeps taking out Gon on that double window repel there. Unfortunate with the camera placed very nicely.
Good placement here by the Valkyrie.
Has been droned out. Freeze has been downed outside that main door and is finished off by Cortari. Coming back up that main.
We're just going to see Joe Sarah, just the last player here on the Viking Army side.
Sarah could be speaking with the team, holding the angle, and just making a play ready for next round. Has got the diffuser, so anything could happen.
We're going to see the 5 ace here. I guarantee it. 23 seconds left on the clock.
23-second ace from Sarah.
Ace. Yep, let's see it. If something is going to happen, it's got to happen now. But as we can see here,
doesn't quite see the player.
Flawless round there
of Cortari.
Just getting one pick after the other, and that's what you love to see. It's just Wrens taking that extra step and getting the picks, not really coming out of in negative in any engagement. Yeah, Viking Army.
And that's what they've been trying to do all game. And Viking, I don't know what they did differently this round, but they managed to give themselves to Wrens in such a way that they could take those ones. They could make those aggressive plays and make them stick. Unlike the first 3 rounds where we saw Viking armies playing tight together and really Wrens struggling to make anything happen without being punished for it. Well, maybe we'll see it again in this next round where we're going back to that basement site. This time the Flores has not been picked, but we have got a Twitch in the Flores' place. Also have the Kali has been brought out. We'll see if that makes
any
difference getting that wall open.
I mean, honestly,
it's a lot more focused push on getting that wall open and trying to make something happen there.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I mean, as we saw last round, there was a lot of, like,
Seconds left.
engages there that were just hard peeking. We didn't really see much
5 seconds
hard
remaining.
rotations and like group engagement there to cover each other. I think that's what really let Viking Army down there. But hopefully they can turn this around by going in and opening up this garage door and trying to actually make a proper play in here as a team.
3 players are moving up onto that wall. They've spotted that black eye immediately. Gone, giving a little dance. Yes, we see you.
We've done it.
Just saying. We see you. You're not keeping that. I'm sorry. You Bandit ready to trick with another player lying prone and camping that drone hole. Freeze and weird one. They've decided early to not bother with that
Taking a
and nope
far
it out.
rotate.
Going round to that back garage. Rotate round there.
Activated.
Sarah going down that trench side. Back garage being droned out. Making sure to check everything. The black eye once again being spotted this time. It's not. They're not as hidden as they may be if taking just that extra, maybe second and a half to just place them. You can get a little bit more out of it.
Attackers have located a
Being
bomb.
on site, trying to get as much intel as you can. That Vigil playing a little bit of havoc on the Vikings' droning abilities.
Activated.
Jon opting to use the staple gun rather than the scoped
C4
C4
thrown.
coming out. Doesn't get anything. No damage whatsoever onto the players of Viking Army. I was expecting something to happen. Sporky gets tagged up a little bit. Probably from Breach or from Weird One. It did manage to get the
Deploying Claymore.
breaching charge of the Ace. Cortari managing to pick off freeze jump on that roam clear of the Jackal.
Breaching sequence activated.
Weird ones.
Weird One managing to trade that out and taking out Cortari. And that's the Vigil off the board, making the droning much more effective. Or any future droning much more effective. Now Weird One pushing up into the waiting
15 seconds left.
Roni of Sporky there.
10 seconds left.
Another one West Main. Weird One. Oh, it wasn't Weird One, it was M that pushed up. Weird One did manage to get the trade off.
Bomb not quite going
Unfortunately,
down.
Operators, you have
could
run out of
not
time.
could not stick the plant that time, just in the nick of time for Renz. It's another one of those close rounds that had one or two things gone ever so slightly different, it could have been another Viking Army win.
4-1 now.
We're going to bar gaming now. They've abandoned that kitchen and decided to take their tertiary site to the bar and the gaming room. Take it into the bar, usually you take it out back.
No, straight into the bar this time.
Right?
Frost.
Straight into the bar.
Frost coming out here as a 6th pick.
And getting rid of that utility, the throwable denial,
Defenders protect
Without
your bombs
the
from being defused by attackers.
grenade denial of a Jaeger or a Wamai.
Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
Well, you know, frost mats are useful as long as a player steps on them. So, see if the frost is able to catch anyone out here. No frost mats actually being used just yet by Meeps here. Now starting to put one on the window of A site.
Deciding where exactly to put it down
Precision
so as to
placement.
have the best effect. And also to put two down next to the window.
Insertion.
Covering both sides, make sure that you jump in on either side, you are going to get taken out by one of those frost mats.
Not exactly happy with the placement, so removing one and
Heading out to defuse
moving
the
it somewhere else. Burner Bear onto that bandit.
Setting the welcome mat.
Bernabear and Kortari having fantastic games.
Got about 6 kills here.
Kortari on 6 as well.
Both topping our leaderboard for Ren's side. Weird ones though. Still getting 5 kills upon the Vikings side, carrying their team quite a fair bit.
Gone with the assists there. And some of the calls. M taking out Angry very early on. That's, I hope that she got her 3 Valkyrie cams out because she's going to have 2.5 minutes to look at those cams. Weird one droning out that bathroom area. Looking at how they can push into the study in order to get that vertical control onto site. Kortari taking out Gon. I don't know where that was from. Sporky
Their way
being droned out and having to fall off that little roam. Having to find a different angle onto the player that they know is on that balcony there. Freeze jump being taken out by Sporky, who's rotated around. Still one outside there. Dropping down. 3v4 with 1 minute 15 remaining. Something can still happen. Weird one hasn't used any of the
play coming out here with Finker.
Just one.
Drugging everyone
One
up.
Finker boost.
Try Sarah.
Kortari
very
taking
low.
some shots from Sarah. That those extra hit points really helping out. And that's it for the
Finker. Weird ones there.
Finker. Sarah taking out Kortari.
Big pick.
Very big pick there. Holding the
Not
angle for the
quite
Mozzie.
able to
Just doesn't
get it.
manage to land the shot. Does land a shot. That's M taking out the Mozzie. 1v2.
Clutch situation.
Clutching
here.
up from the sub from Radical Rebels M. Now looking for the final 2 players of Ren's.
Both of which sitting downstairs on the first floor. M still upstairs on the second floor mezzanine now.
Looking like going for the frags.
Oh,
That's
huge
the one
pick.
frag out. Second one coming soon. Has been revealed by the Prisma, and that allows Bernabear to get the kill. Just pre-aim
Pre-aim.
where the
Holding
Jackal's
the
head
corner.
is going to be.
Yeah, the pre-aim there, as well as holding that space, really helped clutch up that round there. You know, hold your angles, get the kills. Really, that's what it comes down to.
5-1 half for Ren's. They're going to have to attack onto the Viking Army's defense, and this is what we saw, a lot of struggling with Ren's last game. A lot of their defense was very, very one-sided on the clubhouse. We've got the 6 pick onto Caviera from Freeze. I alluded to it last match that's one of the players that could be a menace on the Cav.
Defenders protect
Could
your
see
bombs from being defused by attackers.
see a bit of a interrogation, maybe. Hopefully, see how it goes.
If there's one, it'll be beautiful to see.
Very nice.
And we've got 3 C4s.
Exactly. Let's see if we get some C4 kills out here. Team
C4s.
C4s.
C4s and a Cav.
Big plays.
This is a treat. This is a treat.
It is. Being treated on this map, really.
Especially against Ren's that have had such problems with C4s. Gone using that Cade trick out to the other side of the table there. Gets the wall down below onto Wine Cellar.
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
From has it gone off or is it just a little bit too high? It might be being used later. Later on. 3 players pushing into Trophy from Ren's. The other 2 looking like they want to try and get the door, but have fallen off that idea even quicker than Viking fell off it last time. On having a little bit of a peek up main stairs there, deciding not to go any further. Freeze jump on a top floor roam that doesn't look like she's been discovered with the movements of the players below her. No one's really watching the stairs apart from Sporky, who had a quick look and decided not to follow that up. May have been a good idea. Cav lurking. Jackal not going to do as well against the Caviera. Flank drone. No one's watching that flank drone. Just sitting there. Sporky and all of the Wrens there. Trying to stay close because Freeze is going to sneak up behind them. They know that she's around somewhere. If they've done the droning and they've found her, they'll know there is a Cav.
Please tell me you didn't leave the lobby
Activating code.
M holding angles, a lot of angles being held, not a lot of aggression from Wrens. Seems like they're a little bit lost. Freeze having to fall back a little bit, taking that phone call. Inopportune moment, always happens.
Hate it when the ex-girlfriend calls of Dockerby.
That's Sporky trying to land some shots onto Sarah. Sarah trading back just as good as she's given with that MP5K. Going down though this time, but getting the trade out onto Angry Wolf. Gets refragged or re-downed by Gon, who then manages to pick Sarah up. And that's now a 5v3. Cav has downed one. The interrogation coming out. This could be all she wrote from Wrens. One player left. Interrogation on site. That's it. Viking Army. Finishing it up. I am so happy we got to see the interrogation.
Yeah.
The interrogation
love to see it.
in Women's League. You just love to see it. That's what you want to see in a game like Siege.
5-2 now to Wrens, Viking Army.
5-2, Viking Army to Wrens. Wrens stalling out once again as soon as they switch onto that attack. They just looked lost. They really looked lost there.
They really do. Like, taking their time a
had
lot, but not really, like, making any moves.
Doing anything with it.
You can see a 6-pick onto Blackbeard now.
And a 6-pick onto...
Cav again.
Once again.
Worked once. May as well make it work a second time here.
If it ain't broke, don't
exactly.
fix
Your bombs from being defused.
Like Dad always used to say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Going for the Cav upstairs this time, but dropping down. Definitely the player to watch in Freeze. She'll won't see much early round, but then come late round, everyone all of a sudden gets revealed. Caviera, a terrifying operator for people who don't make the best work of drones, and as we saw,
10 seconds to insertion.
someone's been doing their research and has seen a little bit of the
5 seconds left before insertion.
the lackluster droning from Wrens. They're relying on that Jackal a bit much, and that Cav being able to counter the Jackal is just not going to help their roam clear if it is a Cav that's roaming. A lot of push from that front door now. Looking to take some of that main fireplace control. Have a Freeze roaming around near kitchen.
Tari is just outside kitchen. Decides to rotate off back towards her team here.
Getting a lot of calls from the outside. Freeze moving around, trying to get into an opportune spot where she can catch one of them on their own. When they're on their own, that's when you see them strike. Through the cams, feeding that intel to your roamers. Gone on the Maestro. tucked away into a little bit of a corner, looking around at the Black Eyes. M also feeding that intel onto the Black Eyes. Sarah taken down by Kotari on that Blackbeard. Meep's taking a little bit of a shot as well.
Bomb located by
Blackbeard on that rappel, the scariest place for the Blackbeard to be.
Don't want to be facing that shield on that window.
Especially not on the rappel. Just, you don't peek it, you let them push in. One of the shields is gone. Gone, might be pushing up to swing it. Freeze.
Not quite being able to hit the shots there.
Not quite being able to get it, and now it's stuck in that mudroom. Cortari managing to pick up another one onto M. Picking up one onto M, taking a bit of damage, Burnabear. From it looks like a punch hole. A lot of DMRs coming out from Rens here. Freeze, gone, and Weird One left. Blackbeard on another window. Gone, roaming around that middle floor, having dropped just a little bit to see a Weird One trying to hold that angle onto Cortari there through the bathroom, through those doors. Smoke not really effective at cutting off that line of sight. Freeze has made her way back onto site, content that she's wasted enough time. Meep's being taken down by Weird One through that angle. Weird One again, taking out another one. Third one swings, doesn't quite manage to do it. Burnabear takes out Freeze on the cav. Plant going down, last one gone left. One on the window gone. Can you see where they're planting? Yes. Dockeby Call comes out, stops that. And Blackbeard finishes it up with the shield, saving the headshot there. Cortari being a dominant force, but still having to contend with Weird One and a lot of the Vikings just stopping those pushes.
Yeah, unfortunately the Kavira there not being able to find a pick, getting caught out on the rotations quite a few times. Didn't really help Viking army at all there. Not to mention a lot of the Valkyrie cams getting taken out, not being able to get that vision onto the side of Rens. Going to see it 6-2. Possible match point here. 6 pick onto Sledge.
6 pick onto the Sledge from the Thermite, leaving only Ace to do the hard breaching. And it will be a middle ground hold. Basement hasn't opened up again for them. So they're going to have to make this one stick. They want to continue it. Go down to the basement. Got the Frost making some of those rotates. Making those lines of sight that we did mention last game was so detrimental to some of the plays that were brought against the Rens. So they swing it and they rely on that gun skill to be able to take those ones. Droning with 2 drones left after the prep phase from Rens. There's not a lot of pre-place drones. They're going to be relying on that face check again and live droning. Otari breaking open that Solarium window and seeing if she can clear out any of the roamers. There is one in the bathtub that I don't know if they know is there. Freeze also roaming down that bottom floor. I believe it was Freeze.
Yeah, Freeze is roaming down that bottom floor there.
M waiting for the jump in, gets the jump in. That's Diffuser down. Sporky swings that second one. Very quick.
Disrespect shooting the body there at the end there. Very nice.
Very quick two-piece and very good refrag there and covering each other's back from Weird One. Covering onto M there on the Valkyrie. Good intel, good calls, and good teamwork. They have 2 more looking at clearing out those roams there. Cortari and Burnabear looking at pushing through the piano and taking that master side control. Jackal Ping's coming out onto the Valkyrie of M. Doesn't manage to stop Weird One getting another kill onto Burnabear. Jackal Ping coming out again. Can't tell if that's onto M or Weird One there. It's onto one of them. but the other is just around the corner as well. It's a 3v5 with 1 minute 15 remaining. Vikings in a very, very dominant position here. Just playing the slow game. Triple from Weird One. Playing the slow game and playing how they want to play. They're not falling into the trap that Grumpy fell into last game of playing how Rens wanted to play. They're playing how they want to play and they're dominating it. Otari manages to pick up M, meaning that this can't be a flawless round for Vikings, but it might as well be. Just padding the stats here for Cortari. Might be able to make something happen, but Frost space program there. The body ragdoll.
Bit of body ragdoll there up top. Atari
knows that there's a player here.
Doesn't quite see the pig.
Doesn't quite see them. Freeze! Finishing up the round. Tucked into a little corner.
Sneaky,
follows it out.
Sneaky spot there by Freeze. Round 10. It's going to be Viking Army taking that one. Rens might be falling down here. Viking Army making a bit of a comeback. 6-3. Still got a long way to go though.
But basement has opened back up for the Viking Army, and that was a very dominant first round from them in the basement, where I believe they only had one player fall. It was like that last round. They only had the one player fall. They just held that out. Cortari picking off the IQ onto the Blackbeard. That did cause a lot of problems for Viking Army in that last time that it was brought. Freeze going the alibi.
Locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
There's a different operator. Usually don't see a lot of in this level of play is that alibi.
Can't be too sneaky with an alibi really in this high level of play. Not really getting caught out a lot by those holograms.
But you can use them for a little bit of intel, and especially if you use them as a roaming, or put them in
doorways,
angles that would usually be held.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean that's really the key to playing her at this high level of play, is being able to get those rotates covered and catching the enemy off guard.
Attackers must locate and defuse the bomb.
Interesting interaction there between the electricity and the mute jammer. That the electricity no longer destroys defender gadgets. You can now stick defender gadgets on those electrified walls without the fear of them being zapped off. A huge buff for just defenders in general.
Attackers have located
He's
a bomb.
playing that spot in trophy and roaming around that area. Gone, taking some fire, I believe, from the Blackbeard that's pushed into
Sorry,
that
Blackbeard
master.
unfortunately gets caught out there.
Manages to get a peek, holding a really tight angle there. Gone. Off angle that manages to get out Cortari, and that's the Blackbeard that gave them so much trouble off the board within the first minute of the round.
Definitely getting
4v5 now.
Definitely getting that hard hitter of Katari down. Katari that down though is going to be strong for the Viking Army side here.
Absolutely, and it's down to the Burner Bear and Sporky, Angry and Meeps to finish it off. It's been a quiet game from Meeps in terms of kills, but that's only half of the game. There is that score line. I don't know what's happening in the team comms. They could be doing a lot of droning, a lot of calling, and allowing the players like Burner Bear, Sporky, and Cortari to get those kills that they have been getting. The 8, 7, and 12, respectively. The kills a lot more evened out on the side of Viking. Sporky managing to finish off Gone, and that takes it to a 4v4 with 1 minute and 5 seconds remaining. Still haven't made much progress on pushing into sight, just having to take those stairwells. Sporky running down with the 0. Manages to get the pre-fire onto Sarah, who's holding the same angle she was holding last time. Doesn't manage to get the second one of Weird One. She's swinging the door. Playing bins now.
3v3 situation.
Holding that out.
Almost 30 seconds left in the game.
3v3. 3v2 now. Burner Bear managed to finish off Weird One. does get traded out, all down to M. M playing on this shield here. Goes down to the sledgehammer. Holding that far angle. Sledge on a sliver of health. Both of them still with less health than M combined, but it is 2 guns versus the 1 gun. Refiring out that blue. M now.
Oh, double kill.
Finishing it off. Good spray transfer there from M. And the swing coming through, hearing the plant, getting a call, taking out the cover, taking out the planter. And that's all she wrote. 1 more round. 2 Viking. Round 11. Match point yet again. Bringing it back. 6-4. Are we going to see overtime this match? I hope so.
So far,
I hope we see
it's been really back and forth this whole match so far. I mean, Ren's taking a very dominant lead and stuff. Viking Army kind of like turning on now, switching that switch, realizing kind of the plays of having to sit more on site, and just locking it down.
There's the pulse coming out.
Got to check for the
also mentioned. I think someone's been watching. Someone's been watching last game's stream.
Attackers need to locate and
Pulse coming out.
bombs as they
4 C4s. Cav earlier. It's exactly what we were saying. It's just either they've done their homework or someone's been watching the streams.
Maybe a bit of a appeal happening for you there, Kilo, with all your calls there. But it's definitely been an interesting picks, and I mean we've seen them actually work, especially with that pick into Kavira earlier. So
it's the reverse of the caster curse.
Yeah, it's the exact reverse. Who needs a?
I say things that happen.
What's going on? What happened to the caster curse? It's just the complete opposite now. You're gonna see just the standard setup here. Weird One's opting to take this corner again.
And it was such a strong corner for her to take last time. It really shut down 2 or 3 of the Ren's players that just couldn't quite push in on that. Meep's taking that repel position very early on. And looking like they really want to push into that site. Gone right at the bottom. Just hiding there a little bit. Waiting for that late round push up into the middle floor to use those C4s effectively.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Sorry, triggering out the Legion pulsar.
Cortari on that DMR again.
A bomb has been located.
So dangerous at those long ranges that she seems to really enjoy playing. Don't need rate of fire when you've got accuracy. Pings coming out here now from Gone with that heartbeat scanner active. M playing the piano position on top of the piano with a deployable shield. No grenade denial or utility clear denial. Not being too aggressive here. And once again, Ren's holding angles, waiting for doubles, just scared that not having that refrag is going to lose them the round. They still haven't found the pulse of Gone down that bottom floor. As of yet. Or as of yet that we know. Lion Scan comes out and a push is made by Meeps into that trophy area. Frostmat has been spotted out. Grenade going to come up Solarium stairs. Near to Sarah. Cortari takes a little bit of damage from that through the floor. Flashes going out. Bounces off the wall and doesn't quite manage to stun anyone. Making sure that there's no one there. Being able to push up. Sam Cam going out. Finding the player of M behind that deployable shield. Gone, having been taken out somewhere in the round. I didn't even see that. That's something that I missed. Meeps being traded out by Freeze after taking out Sarah on that. Down to even 3-on-3. That deployable shield still being played by the Valkyrie. Being pinched now from both sides. Unfortunately gets gunned down by Angry, who pushes in hyper aggressively. Weird one with the double.
Oh,
Onto Burner and Angry. Cortari swings in with that DMR.
that's going to be the
Just
game.
manages to finish off the game. Once again, much closer than what we were thinking at the
Yeah, no,
start there with
definitely.
the 5-1.
The reverse sweep was on the way back for Viking Army, but unfortunately Quite wasn't able to get there. Gonna see Katari on 15.
Weird one also on 15. And 3 players on 9 as well, with M and Sporky and Burner Bear also rounding that out. It's a fantastic game. And all the things that I said that were there to stop Rens were brought out to stop Rens. And
It worked. Yeah, exactly.
it worked. So any team that's future looking at these games going, how do we deal with Rens? Viking Army just showed how you deal with Rens. And then you clean it up a little bit, drill it in, and you'll get it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, we saw really what came it's not the caster curse, but the caster benefit there that kind of taught them how to claim those wins over over Rens there by Viking Army. I think the other outcome of that is listen to Kilo on his calls, and you'll be able to get a few more points on the board.
It's very interesting and just weird. I say something and it happens. Usually when I'm playing and I'm with my team, I say things and everyone goes, nah, we'll do our own thing. But if it works, it works. And it's been working.
It's been working. And with that's the end of us for tonight.
Have we got an updated standing?
No, we
or
don't.
not?
We don't have an updated standing right this second, but that updated standing
Do we have-
will be out.
Do we have results?
We do
that we can run through?
maybe have results. Let me just check that. Yeah, so on the main stream, we actually had Fallen Angels and Silex on the first game take that. Fallen Angels taking that 7-0, completely sweeping Silex, as well as Radical Rebels and Fallen Angels then on the second, taking that out. Yeah, so Fallen Angels taking that out, and Radical Rebels again going down 2-7 on that main stream there.
Yep. Okay. That's and then the last round it was Viking Army and
Viking Army happened in that one, so there we go. I got it up. I found it. We're good.
Hey,
We found it. So yeah, those are the scores from today's matches there. But yeah, great games overall. And I'm sure everyone enjoyed what was happening on the main stream too, with those sweeps that happened there. But yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I've enjoyed it once again this week, and thank you for turning on your mic and stepping in. When
it's been fun. It's
to...
been fun just turning on my mic for a bit. You know, I haven't touched Siege in a long time, so you know, I learned a few things today, which is good. I hope everyone actually enjoyed our casting. Hopefully, but hopefully next week we'll have the usual cast back of Kilo, obviously, as always, Kilo.
Yep. Next week we should be returning to our scheduled programming of Kilo and Elska.
Yep. And yeah, until then, that's us for tonight.
Until next week.
So we will catch you guys later.
See all of you next week.
See ya.